A Newton, Massachusetts woman dealing with the sudden death of her husband now faces a brand new challenge. In addition to raising the 11 children left behind, she's also found herself in the middle of a fight to save her home from foreclosure. NECN's Allie Donnelly joins us now with the story. Allie?
Well, Leslie, Elinor Beatrice and her husband Jeff had been struggling for the past few years. The bank told them recently they'd be auctioning off their house this week. But then days later, Jeff died. One saving grace is that Jeff had been something of a legendary coach around town. Baseball, softball, basketball, you name it. And the community is rallying around them. The family has gotten help from all corners of the community, from a state senator to the local Boys and Girls Club.
But every time he met somebody, he said, "You have to come to my wedding."
When Elinor Beatrice met her husband Jeff 20 years ago, they each had children from previous marriages. But they would spend the coming years expanding their family even more. They raised 11 kids in the same house Jeff grew up in, a rambling Victorian on a leafy street in Newton, Massachusetts.
My husband was the heart of the home, and it's very quiet without him now.
Not even 2 weeks ago, Jeff Beatrice had a heart attack in that same home. He died in Elinor's arms. He was 49 years old.
It's hard to believe he's gone. Every day gets a little harder.
Harder still because Jeff was the breadwinner, a struggling self-employed CPA whose financial woes spiraled downward after a bad real estate investment. The Beatrices had trouble making ends meet, and after a few years, the mortgage got away from them.
We've tried food stamps, but, we just always made just a little bit too much to qualify for any real assistance.
Eventually, they were foreclosed upon, and just days before Jeff died, the mortgage company let them know it would be auctioning off their house. The family didn't get swindled or taken advantage of. They fell behind, and now Elinor must figure things out.
It's just an overwhelming thought. And where do you go with 7 kids?
Thankfully, Elinor is not answering that question alone. For the past 2 decades, Jeff Beatrice has coached every youth sports team imaginable, from Newton Little League to girls basketball.
You never knew who his kids were, but it was all the same to Jeff.
Any kid that was in trouble, their family was struggling, they weren't getting enough attention at home, those kids gravitated toward the Beatrice's house.
When word got out that the Beatrice family needed help, hundreds of people stepped up to the plate. A memorial fund was established. The high school hockey team gave up the money from their yard sale. Strangers have dropped off everything from gift cards to groceries.
Even like my 11-year-old friend gave me $6 from her piggy bank, which, it was all she had, but she was willing to give it to us.
Now, the Beatrice house was supposed to be auctioned off November 5th, but strangers and politicians have gotten the family a 60-day extension. Beatrice doesn't know how much she needs to save the house and help raise her kids, but she knows it's a lot. If you'd like to help, you can log on to thebeatricefamilyfund.com. Leslie?
Wow. And Allie, she wants to stay in that house, is that right? And how many kids are still at home, and how old are they?
Well, she does want to stay in that house, and she's not being coy about how much money she needs. She's still negotiating with the bank to see kind of how much they'll take to get her out of foreclosure. And she has 7 kids living at home. They range in age from 17 down to 5 years old.
Wow. Allie Donnelly with the story. Thank you.